Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? I let my nieces finish the song. So, anyway, hi, how's everybody? Well, you read the title. Let's talk about Anthony, Life with Anthony. So, I'm a reaction channel, and I go about the YouTube streets and, I make reactions to what's happening on YouTube with content creators, or I make reactions about celebrities and other trending topics um, that are happening in the world. And so I've been following Anthony, I would say for a couple of months now because, honey, the algorithm has been good to Anthony. And so his channel had been out for a few years. And according to him, I didn't know about his channel. Honestly, I didn't even know about van life. I didn't know that people were living in their cars like that. Listen, I knew, but I only knew of people who were living in their cars temporarily because of housing issues. And so that was what I knew about, being a mental health worker, a therapist. I've had clients who have been temporarily living in their cars. But this is a whole new thing when people are choosing to live in their cars and have made accommodations to be able to do it as comfortable as they can. And so Anthony's channel, went from, I don't know, 5,000 to 60,000 in a matter of like weeks. And so a lot of us found him that way. It's just the matter of the algorithm with YouTube. If it pushes you out there, you can quit your job. And that's exactly what Anthony did. I mean, he became, he is very popular in the car life, van life sector of YouTube. And also because of him, I found other van life, car life channels that I enjoy watching because I'm just fascinated by, as a humanist, you know, what why people would choose to live that way. Obviously, people do that because of financial reasons, but like in the case of Anthony, he was a working guy. I mean, he had a house. I think it went into foreclosure. But anyway, so finally, here we are today. When I met Anthony, he had like a SUV, and he was living in his SUV. He had built it out in the trunk space, in the back seat, and that's where he slept. And I always wondered how he could fit back there. But turns out, it sounds like Anthony is only about 5'4", 5'3". So that makes sense why he could fit in that trunk. I mean, in the back seat trunk space. So now Anthony has been able to quit his job because of his YouTube, success and being able to financially sustain himself off of YouTube, which is great because he is able to now live his best life. And introduce people who were not aware also that people live at campgrounds. Now, obviously that's a way to really save money. Um, Even though some of these campgrounds now, I'm a camper. I've been a camper since I was a little kid. My family, we would be the only black family at the campground because not a lot of black people camp. But eventually, over the years, as I remember growing up, there were more and more families, black families, that would became campers, and we would oftentimes like link up with them, my family and other black families, at campground. So I get the campground life. And there were people, even back then, that would live on these campgrounds year round, especially in nicer states. I'm from Jersey, so there are some campgrounds that stay open pretty late until the snow comes, and then they kind of close up. But for the most part, I mean, I guess if you live in a state where they don't get, like Florida, they don't get snow, you could live at a campground all year long. And so Anthony is from Pennsylvania, so he's traveled down south, um, and now he's at the campgrounds in like the Florida area, and has been talking to his audience and saying, like, I'm transitioning. I don't think I'm gonna get a house. I don't know, about an apartment, but he's feeling this campground lifestyle. Now here's the clit your pearls part of Anthony and these campgrounds. So Anthony is an openly gay man. I mean, I didn't know he was gay until he said it. No, I didn't know he was gay until he talked about going to an all male campground. And I'm like, all male campground? All male campground? I've heard stories about them all male campgrounds. So what now, Anthony? So as he's introduced his audience to the all male campground very respectfully, he shows us the campgrounds, he shows us his site, he blurs out, people around him, or, he's not doing that, respecting other people's privacy. Um, but I think for an audience, his audience, people are like, what? An all male campground? What in the like he would say, what in the hoot nanny is going on there? Well, honey, girl, and boys, it's a lot going on there. Uh huh. Mm hmm. It's a lot going on them. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. So some of the campgrounds, it's about 15 of these all male gay campgrounds throughout the United States. And it sounds like Anthony is trying to hit every single one of them. Um, and the campgrounds are pretty open. It's not, it used to be a secret. It used to be like, um, uh, uh, you know if you know if you in the lifestyle, about the campground. But these campgrounds are much more open now. They have websites. People are aware of these sites and where they are. So for Anthony to share that part of his life with us is really, it's I think it's great that he's going to be willing to share that part of his life with us, and that people can kind of understand, like, outside their comfort zone, what's going on outside of their comfort zone. And even for younger men, gay men, to know that there are places where they can go and be open and be, safe in their environment, and how they live, and meet other gay men and stuff like that. So for that, it's great, but it's interesting to bring his audience, which I'm sure his audience is, mixed with all kinds of people, people who have never heard of these campgrounds. And what happens is a lot of, they grown people. They all grown men. They grown men, and grown men can do what grown men do. Um, but yeah, and maybe, I mean, some people I see in the comments, with his comments, it's like, those of us who are more like extroverts, like like more, like we like to socialize and be around people. you know Sometimes I think people look at his lifestyle and it's like, oh my god, he's lonely, he's by himself, most of the time. He's fine. That's his personality. And I think that's the personality of a lot of people who are in like car life and van life, that they're more like introverts, and they're pretty good with being alone and being by themselves. Could I do that? Absolutely not. maybe during the day, but soon as night hit, I'm scared. I need somebody around me. Mm-mm. But that's kind of it. Anthony is moving his channel more into, like, he even changed his description of his channel. So now he's more of a lifestyle. And I'm down. I'm with it. I want to, I'm in the car with him in my head. Where we going next, Anthony? What campground we going to next? What we doing? Like, I'm with the whole transition of what he's doing with his channel. So if you haven't seen his channel, go check out Life with Anthony. It's Life with Anthony. Life with Anthony, and just all sit back and enjoy his content, and learn something new. Any, oh, oh. Anyway, Anthony, yeah, Anthony's been also buying things for his campground. I'm gonna tell him in the comment section some things that he probably will also need to get for his campsite as he's building this life of being a camper. So welcome to the camping world. And anyone else, I hope this gives other people the notion to want to camp. Camping is great. It's fun. It's relaxing. I was a camper, like I said. My parents took us camping. I took my kids camping. Um, every summer we went, to at least two campgrounds. When I was younger, we went like every weekend. Every weekend we went to a campground for the weekend or whatever. But that's it. That's all. Everyone have a great, 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 great day, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.